Akin pong itong ah, binablog ang nangyayari sa Nepal, sa Indonesia at saka Thailand. Baka sunod Philippines. Sa Nepal po, napilitan mag-resign sa ngayon lang ang Prime Minister sa pag-aklas ng mga tao, people power ang mga Nepalese. Grabe, matindi. Ang isyo, alam mo ang isyo? Dahil sa paninikil sa internet, binawalan kung ano mga app na ginagamit. So nagagalit ang mga Nepalese citizens kasi hanap buhay pala ng mga Nepalese ang internet sa kanila. Sa Indonesia naman, ang pinag-umpisahan niyan lahat ng Grab driver at ibang mga app hailing drivers, karamihan mga motor, mga riders, ay nag-aklas din. So ang pag-aklas sa Nepal ay mga Gen Z, mga bata, kasi nagalit sa internet na binabawalan sa internet. Tapos sa Indonesia naman, ang mga motor riders naman, mga Grab drivers, mga Gojek, dami mga app nila doon. Pagkatapos naman dito sa Thailand, ang pangingi ang parang pagtatraidor ng anak ni Thaksin Shinawatra na naging prime minister, babae, ay tinanggal ng Constitutional Court ng Thailand, at si dating Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra na dating kinulong na nakalaya ay binalik sa kulungan ulit. So, believe ako sa ating kapitbahay. Ba't tayo sa Pilipinas hindi ba natin magagawa? Pero tingin ko baka sunod ng Pilipinas. Tingnan niyo. Gusto ko matunghayan ninyo kung ano nangyayari sa Nepal. Ang Nepal, napakaganda pang ikwento doon kasi puro pa internet ang pinag-uusapan. Ang tawag sa kanila, Gen Z uprising in Nepal, protest against social media ban. So kung may media ban sa atin, sila may social media ban. So pakinggan natin. Yan.
Our next story is from Nepal, where a massive protest turned violent today. Thousands of protesters took to the streets across major cities. And what was the trigger? A sweeping ban on social media platforms in Nepal. In the capital city of Kathmandu, protesters marched to the parliament. They broke through a police cordon and chanted slogans against KP Sharma Oli, the Prime Minister of Nepal. The state responded with a crackdown. They fired rubber bullets, tear gas, and water cannons. At least 19 protesters have died. 19. The controversial ban was imposed last week. Nepal banned platforms like X, Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. The government introduced new rules to regulate these platforms. They were required to register with the government. The platforms refused to comply, so Nepal banned them. This angered the Gen Z population of the country. Many of them marched in protest today. They say this ban impacts their livelihoods and their future. It is not just about social media, it's about much more. Needless to say, this has had a political fallout. Just a short while, Nepal's Home Minister resigned. He says he's taking moral responsibility for the death of protesters. Here's a report.
Vehicles set on fire. Broken windows and shattered glass. There are stones and debris everywhere. And the air is filled with clouds of tear gas. This is not a war zone. This is Nepal. Thousands of young people took to the streets across the country today. They chanted. They marched. They broke past police barricades. And they stormed the parliament gates. Security forces responded with tear gas and rubber bullets. By the end of the day, at least a dozen protesters were dead. Hospitals have been overwhelmed by the injured. The trigger behind the protests was a ban. Last week, the government of KP Sharma Oli banned over 24 social media platforms. From X to Instagram, even Facebook, WhatsApp, and YouTube. The reason was non-compliance. These companies failed to register with the Nepali government. The requirement came after a Supreme Court order last year. Each platform was asked to appoint a local contact and name an officer to handle user complaints. They did not comply, so the government pulled the plug. Critics of the new registration law say this is not about compliance, it's about control. They are calling it a crackdown on dissent, one that's disguised as regulation. For the Gen Z of Nepal, this ban is a personal one. For many of them, social media had become a source of livelihood. Nepal's digital youth rely on social media to work, create, and earn. The government's ban sparked anxiety among them, so they decided to protest. Observers say no political party was behind today's protest. Protesters spread the word through VPNs,
Wala palang
and they
political,
mobilized
walang
in real
hindi
time.
involved sa politiko. Talagang tao, kusang loob, nagkaklas mga
But the
bata.
Oli government remains dismissive of their voices. Yesterday, Nepal's Prime Minister defended the ban. He called it a matter of national sovereignty. Oli declared he didn't care if 2 or 4 people lost their jobs. For the protesters, those remarks only added fuel to the fire. Their anger goes beyond a social media ban. It's rooted in joblessness and in inequality. Unemployment remains high in the country. Around 2,000 Nepalis leave the country every day, according to an estimate. Most head to the Gulf of Malaysia. Others go west, chasing education, opportunity, or an escape. But those who remain, especially the youth, feel left behind. They see political leaders with access to greater resources. Many send their children abroad for education and work. Meanwhile, young citizens at home face limited opportunities. The ban has brought the Oli government's core challenge into sharp focus. A digitally connected generation, mobilized, vocal, and increasingly assertive. They are not waiting for political parties to deliver on their promises. They are pushing for change. They are organizing independently. Today, they were on the streets, at the gates of Nepal's parliament, and directly confronting the state authority.
Yan, ha? So yan ang ito pa. Tingnan pa natin ulit itong iba pa na video sa Nepal. At least walang sound dito. The government said its ban was to tackle fake news, hate speech, and online fraud. Ito ang resulta pala. Pag pinakialaman ng pamahalaan natin yung internet. Ito mangyayari. So makita nyo na? Ito. Ito yung mga Gen Z na protesta, mga bata. Mga bata na Nepalese. na protesta sa paninikil sa internet. TikTok, Viber, yan lang ang gumagana doon. Ang WhatsApp, tinanggal. Facebook, tinanggal. YouTube, wala nata. So parang sinunog ata nilang kalang parliament eh. Binabato ang pulis ano. Yan, susunod na Pilipinas. Ha? Nepal yan, Nepal. Yan, no? Dami-dami na protesta, mga Nepalis. Mga bata, lahat na protesta dyan. Kasi nagalit sa lahat ng app, Facebook, lahat tinanggal, WhatsApp, tinanggal. Oh, yan, binawalan kasi sila magamit sa social media. Sa Nepal po yan, Nepal. So, yan. I-remove na natin. Pinakita ko lang sa inyo nangyayari ngayon sa Nepal. Ito. Sa Nepal yan, Miguel Aquino. Siyam na daw ang patay dyan. People were killed in clashes between the Nepal police and Gen Z protesters. So Gen Z, mga bata nagprotesta kasi na sila, sinusupi lang kanilang kalayaan sa paggamit sa internet. Sinunog mo yung sasakyan. So, yan po ang nangyayari sa Nepal. Sa ngayon, mga kababayan ko, hindi ko iniisip na yung flood control problem natin sa Pilipinas ay magre-resulta sa ganun. Ang mga Nepal na mga tao dyan, mga bata pa, nagagalit dahil ang kanilang kalayaan sa paggamit ng internet ay sinusupil ng pamahalaan nila. Pinapasara yun na sinasara yung mga major apps. Mga X, Twitter, binawalan na. YouTube, Facebook, ano kasi ang mga tao doon, hanap buhay din pala nila yung social media. Kaya kita mo nagagalit. Sana hindi ba ganun mangyari sa Pilipinas? Ayan. Mga bata pa. TikTok at Viber lang ang nakabukas. So anyway, daling ko naman kayo doon sa Thailand, kung ano naman nangyari sa Thailand. Sa Indonesia muna, Indonesia. Sa Indonesia, tuloy-tuloy pa rin po sa ngayon ang protesta sa Indonesia.
Police vehicle
Ayan,
ran over
Indonesia.
a delivery driver, killing him.
Kahapon
Nearly
nakuha
600
yan.
people are still in detention over their roles in these protests. And we're joined by CNA's Chani Bhavani. She's reporting live from Jakarta. Chani, as we mentioned, some strategy behind this shakeup in cabinet. Two key positions affected. Those are the Minister for Political and Security Affairs, and of course, as we mentioned, the Finance Ministry. What are the reasons specifically for changes to those positions?
Well, Wesu, it's hard to pinpoint any one
Excuse me,
specific
mas
reason
marami
for
ang
why
gusto mo po
this
si Sarah.
reshuffle has taken place. However,
Yan ang
prior to the inauguration of the new
yan ang kailangan
ministers,
ng
State
realidad.
Secretary Prasetyo Hadi explained that the cabinet reshuffle was partly to follow up on the establishment of the new Hajj and Umrah ministry, as well as the fact that President Prabowo had evaluated various aspects of state administration, which then led to this decision of replacing some of his ministers. Now, when pressed by reporters after the press conference, Mr. Prasetyo stated that the cabinet reshuffle was based on many factors. Now, while he didn't elaborate, he did acknowledge that one of those factors was tied to the recent demonstrations that we saw last month. Remember, weeks of protest and unrest called for reform on a number of issues, including a fairer tax system. So during the protests, looters had even broken into Sri Mulyani's home as she became the focus of public anger. Now, Sri Mulyani Indrawati was one of Indonesia's longest serving finance ministers and had worked under 3 presidents, as you mentioned there, even serving as a managing director of the World Bank. Replacing her is economist Purbayayudi Sadewa, who has been head of the Indonesia Deposit Insurance Corporation since 2020. The new Minister for Political and Security Affairs, meanwhile, has not been officially named yet. We have instead an interim minister in Shafri Samsudin, who is also Indonesia's current defense minister. Now, at the end of August, in the midst of the Jakarta protests, Mr. Shafri had said that the president strongly emphasized to the military and police to remain solid, to work together, and to not hesitate in taking measured steps to maintain national stability.
Chani, if we are unable to pin down exactly why these changes have been made, would we be on more certain ground if we look ahead to what the implications might be of these changes to Indonesia's cabinet?
Well, according to analysts here in Jakarta, they are saying that the reshuffle could potentially indicate a number of things, given that not all of the reasons were made public by President Prabowo or his cabinet secretary. Some analysts are saying that this reshuffle marks the consolidation of the president and his administration in setting national priorities going forward. They're saying that aside from the demonstrations, the reshuffle was also influenced perhaps by performance considerations and the need as well to strengthen cabinet solidarity at this time and sort of the reining in of political parties in his coalition, if you will, even closer at this time.
Thanks, Chani Bhavani, speaking to us.
Okay. So, ilabas naman natin. Reyes, kung pwede ba mayroon sinong nakakuan dyan? Kung sino may mga video sa inyo dyan, bigyan nyo ako ng video ng link para may video ko sa yung demolition dyan sa Santo Niño, sa Acero at saka sa ICC. So, ito naman po sa Thailand. Sa Thailand po ay pinadala sa bilanggo ang dating Prime Minister ng Thailand at ang anak niya na Prime Minister na anak ni Thaksin Shinawatra ay tinanggal pagka-Prime Minister. Yan din po nangyayari sa Thailand. Ito po yung Thailand. Habang ibinalik sa kulungan ng dating Prime Minister.
Thailand's former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra has been sent to jail, ordered by a court Tuesday to serve a 1-year sentence for previous convictions on charges of graft and abuse of power. Just after midday, a vehicle carried him past the gate behind me and into Bangkok Remand Prison. How has this happened? Well, at its simplest, it's the result of the court investigating whether he received unduly lenient treatment 2 years ago when he returned to Thailand after 15 years of self-exile. On that occasion, he was taken to court, sentenced to 8 years, and sent to prison. But within hours, he was whisked to hospital allegedly seriously ill. and there he stayed in a private room until the king commuted his sentence and he was paroled in February 2024. Many Thais were suspicious of the circumstances, and in essence today the Supreme Court agreed with them. A judge said that the enforcement of Thaksin's penalty was not done properly, and so his detention in hospital did not count as serving prison time. Before the start of the hearing, the former leader arrived at the court looking calm and composed. His daughter Paetongtarn, herself Prime Minister until recently, was at his side. A message on his Facebook page following the ruling said that he accepted the court's decision. Thaksin Shinawatra won 2 landslide general election victories at the start of the century before being overthrown in a military coup in 2006.
Yan naman sa Thailand. So, what is awaiting the Philippines?
One of Thailand's
Ano nag-iintay sa Pilipinas? Let us see what happens. What happens would be spinning out of control of our flood problem. Magandang umaga. Aris Reyes, pwede ba bigyan niyo ako ng ano? Mag-ship ako sa tutulungan ko kayo dyan. May gagawin lang ako. So, Aris Reyes, bigyan mo ako ng indikasyon, ng message. Ano na ba nangyari? May mga hinahanap pa sa inyo dyan? Mga bata ba sa inyo dyan? Mga bata. Okay, hanggang dyan na lang po. Ang ating gagawin, mga team replay, mag-replay po kayo, mag-like, subscribe po ang mga hindi pa nakasubscribe, at paki-member na lang kayo sa aking channel para mayroon tayong makukuha na maganda.